Hey there, this is Darren LaCroix with a vision board success story. You know, I gotta admit, back when I started learning about affirmations and vision boards, I honestly really kind of thought it was hokey. I was like, that's like that foo-foo stuff, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand how it worked, and so I didn't do it. I just didn't want to waste my time. There's so much more I could do to be productive. Well, in 2001, I found myself in a speech contest, and I was really wanting to do my best, and I got to the 5th level, and I was going to the 6th level, which is the world championship, down to top 10 out of 25,000 contestants, and I thought, what if this stuff does work? What if it really does work? And I thought, you know what? When I take the stage on Saturday morning, I don't want to regret not doing anything. So I thought maybe it's stupid, maybe it's hokey, maybe it makes no sense. But I started literally writing out, and this is the exact scan. I kept a piece of paper of what I wrote down every day. I am the 2001 World Champion of Public Speaking because I give more and I inspire the audience. Because I give more and inspire the audience. I didn't just go for the trophy, but I just wanted to visualize me giving as much as possible and inspiring the audience. And if you ever get a chance, you can check out my championship speech. I did. Now, I can't say it's all because of vision boards and affirmations, but here's what I do know. A few years later, The Secret came out, and I became a big fan of that. And quite honestly, I realized that here's what I did that helped me get better because of this is a lot of people will have inspired thought and then do nothing with it. The whole point, in my experience, is to have the writing it out all the time, visualizing yourself being on stage or whatever your visualization is. And then when a random inspired thought hits you, that you act on it. You actually do the thing. So when I was working on my championship speech, I had this random thought out of nowhere, you've got to start running 4 miles a day. And I was like, what? What does that have to do with a speech contest? I thought that was silly, but I did it. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, you know what, if I'm gonna be under the most pressure of my life in front of 2,000 people, then guess what? I need to be in the best, can't talk now, but back then I did. I have to be in the best shape of my life to be able to handle the pressure of that moment. And so I started doing it. So all these random inspirational thoughts, I gotta go spend time with my coach. Well, he's 2.5 hours away. I'm like, okay, I had the inspired thought, I've gotta follow through. And I think that's one of the big problems that people don't achieve their affirmations. It don't come into reality because God or the universe gives you that inspired thought and then you just let it go because it doesn't make sense. When you have that inspired thought, act on it. So it was crazy because I started doing vision boards before 2001, and I had created the first one. I can't find it, I wish I could, but on it I had a picture of a silver convertible Mercedes, and at that time I had an old Celica. It was a cool car, but it had done its time. And I put the vision board away. I moved into one of my friends' home, a CEO that I worked with, and I went looking for a used car, a luxury car, but I went looking for a used car, and I didn't have that thought in my mind consciously, and I ended up going through a used car lot, ended up seeing one that I was like, wow, maybe I could do it. Anyway, bottom line is I walked home with the silver convertible Mercedes. And a couple weeks later, it's almost like right out of The Secret, right out of John Ashraf's story, where I pulled out the vision board and I was like, oh, it freaked me out because I had the car and I didn't consciously go looking for it. And so I kind of put the vision board away because it was like powerful and scared me. But then over time, I created my next vision board. And by the way, some things don't always happen, not for me anyway. I have never ever had those abs. Ever. Well, I did back in the day, but that was long before the vision board. And your vision board will change over time as well when you start getting clearer on what you really want to try and achieve. And so this is the current vision board, and I have different things at the top. To me, God's important, and so I got to have that at the top. That's got to be kind of my guiding factor, or the way that I'm running my life. But for you, why not? What if it does work? Maybe it's hokey, and if you think it's hokey, that's fine, but why don't you give it a sincere shot, and maybe it will happen. I believe that, thoughts create habits and habits create results. So I'm a big fan. This was made by my buddy Andy Dooley. So I put this up around my house to remind myself to visualize. So I hope you consider it. I hope you check it out. And if you have any success, keep going. So what's your vision board story? If you don't have one, maybe find a vision board party in your area. Just Google. I'm not here, I don't teach it, but I am a success story. I believe it did help, and maybe it can help you. If you're motivational, inspirational, and you want to be a speaker, that's what I do. I train speakers in my Stage Time University. In fact, I did win that day when I won the World Championship of Public Speaking. Now, I can't tell you it's because of that. I do think writing it out helped, for sure. But I do know that I inspired the audience, and I worked really hard, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no guarantee you're going to win anything. However, you will get some inspired thoughts, and it's your job to act on them. Hope that helps.